Well, you're a pretty amiable guy.
I would not have... We talked about this early on in the summer. I would not have kicked you out of my shul because of your involvement in porn. I don't have a problem with that. That doesn't bother me. That does not get under my nerves at all. You know what would get under my nerves? If you were, you know, whatever, you were a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, like, you know, whatever, and you said to me, Rabbi, I can, you know, I want to be Jewish and everything, but let me tell you a couple things here. It's never going to be about you. It's going to be about Dennis Prager.
Oh, yeah. And
it's never going to be about the Torah the way you describe it, because, you know, Dennis Prager knows better than you. And, you know, and I have my own set of rabbis, and you would list like this long list of apikoursim, and that would get under my nerves. I wouldn't kick you out,
yeah,
but I would say, if you want me to convert you, you're going to have to drop all this shit, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the things that I care about, you know, and you go, well, okay, I'm going to go join porn now, and I'd be like, you know, knock yourself out, because that doesn't bother me.
Okay, chapter 12, Exodus, like, the story changes. We've gone from this, like, dramatic story about the plagues, and suddenly this becomes like Judaism. It's like, suddenly becomes like laws, and you take this, and you do this, and you put this here, and this means this, no thank you. And this is like the beginning of commandments for the whole nation, presented to the whole nation. And God won't take the Jews out of Egypt until they do something. So God's like teaching, among other things, delayed gratification here. It's like, okay, you need to take a lamb, you need to sacrifice this lamb, and you need to sacrifice it this way. This is how you should eat it. You shouldn't eat it raw. I mean, can you imagine, like, God saying, you know, eat the flesh raw? That does not sound Jewish. Like, how would they get the blood out? But anyway, it's just so savage to eat the flesh raw. And God's like has all these commandments that they have to do, and many of them are public.
Would you have done it?
Yeah.
Really, Mr. Vegetarian?
Yeah, if God said so, yeah.
But God says so in the Torah, right? And you're still like a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, that was then. This is now.
So if God says it back then, you would do it. But if He says it now, you can't be bothered.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, then He was like much more immediate. He was like bringing down plagues. You think I wanted like to get VD or something? Like, God's like bringing down plagues. Like, He probably would have given me syphilis or gonorrhea.
What about this? You're here in this shack. What if the difference between you having a shack and your own place, your own house, was all He wants you to do is eat meat on Shabbos? Would you do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's give it a try. Why don't you eat meat on Shabbos, and let's see what happens.
I'll have to pray on that.
Okay, go on.
So the Paschal sacrifice requires a lot of time-consuming and public activity, including the swathing of blood on the lintels. So the Jews could not fear the Egyptians. It's not like, oh, we better not do this. What will the Goyim say? Like, they had to do a lot of things in public for this ritual. Like, similarly, Judaism today, much of it
that was the point. You know why?
Time-consuming and requires public rituals. God doesn't want the Jews to eat raw meat. Go ahead.
Wait. Let's before we get to that.
Yeah.
Just the thing about doing it in public. Why did God B'dafka want it done in public?
To send a message.
What was the message?
A message to Jews to be...
It was a message to the Goyim.
Okay.
Because you touched on it. You said, did it right in front of the Goyim. Because remember, look at me. Pay attention. What was the god of the Goyim, of the Egyptians? What was their god?
They had lots of them.
What was their god?
Lambs.
Lambs. So God said, I want you to take your lambs, take these lambs, that's the god of the Egyptians, and right in front of them, slaughter their gods. In front of them.
Kind of like what we did to Jesus.
A huge chutzpah. It's a huge chutzpah for a bunch of, you know, like a little group of slaves to give the fuck you to the entire country. We're going to take your thing and destroy you. It would be tantamount today in America to some people, you know, we're going to burn your flag right on the Capitol building. You know, we're going to get together and we're all going to just take flags and big fuck you and make a big effigy, you know, of the president. You know, and burn a cross. Mm-hmm. Burn a cross. How's that?
Yeah.
Ooh, wouldn't that be exciting? Like, you know, like the KKK burned a cross on the White House lawn. Yeah, that would tell you what this would be. This would be telling about like the KKK is going to take the cross and burn it on the White House lawn right in front of everybody, and like fuck you, right? That's what we did. But God wanted that so that they could see that their gods isn't going to save them, because they really believed that that they're going to win this because their God, the Lamb, had the power to save them, and the Jews are going to show that your God is a Gornished, because we're going to slaughter your damn thing, and we're going to put their blood all over our house, right in front of you, like nah.
Well, God says that the lamb blood on the lintel will be a sign for you, so it's not a sign for God. And it's not primarily a sign for the Egyptians as part of the blood on the lintel.
Okay.
It's a sign for you.
Okay,
And,
yeah, okay, it's the same thing. It's a sign that you should see that their God didn't save them.
yeah.
That's basically, it's all, yeah, it's the same thing.
And there's no magical
Look at this.
significance.
Same.
It's just a replay.
I bet she's going to get tackled then. Okay.
So there's no magic to lamb blood on your lintel. Like there's no tradition of Jews like
What's
putting
that word? Lentil?
lintel. It's a French word, Lintel. It's a little thing above the door.
Okay, because I always just say doorpost.
Doorpost. Okay. On your doorpost. So Judaism's anti-magic. You can't just go, oh, my house is going to be protected because I have a mezuzah on the door. But do you think like a house is protected from suffering or evil because there's a kosher mezuzah on the doorpost?
I've heard people say that.
I know. Do you believe it?
I don't know. I've heard people say that, like, we don't need protection with the Kadosh Baruch Hu to protect it. I don't know.
So I don't believe that having a mezuzah on your door will protect you. I don't believe that doing mitzvahs will protect you. The rain falls on the just and the unjust.
I'm not sure how I hold on that.
So Jews invented collective memory. There's nothing like say Passover in Christianity. Jews reenact the Passover every year. When Jews observe the Sabbath, we're commemorating the creation of the universe and the exodus from Egypt. Collective memory is a central mental idea of Judaism, a central practice. Judaism says that events in this world have significance. Jews are not asked to remember visions and theologies as much as a this-worldly historical event, the exodus from Egypt. What do you think of Sarah Silverman?
Why are you asking me that? I kind of know her.
Biblically?
Oh, I'm not a goy. I was in a show, in a comedy show, that was I was in a comedy show every week at the Comedy Store for 5 years. During that time, you know Jimmy Kimmel?
Mm-hmm.
He was a big fan of our show.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there like once a month. And he would watch us. He was in my audience, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he occasionally would bring Sarah Silverman with him.
Whoa.
When they started together.
Right.
At the beginning, they weren't together. In fact, he was still married to his original wife. And he used to bring her, but then all of a sudden Sarah Silverman started showing up. So I performed in front of her before. Here's my problem with her. She was with him. He's a goy. Right? So there was that. But what really bothered me was that she became somehow like the poster
child for outrageous Jewish comedy.
Like she's supposed to be the Jewish comedian. Mm-hmm. She was even on Jewish Woman magazine or some stupid magazine for women, and she was considered Jewish Woman of the Year, and I wanted to puke. Because how can these people how can these secular Jews get behind her and champion her when she wasn't doing anything Jewish other than sucking on the cock of this Catholic guy from Ireland? She's with a goy, right?